All right, hello everyone. Welcome to CRT Labs office hours. My name is Chad Curry, Managing Director for the Center for Realtor Technology here at NAR. So there's a couple of things I want to do today. I'm going to talk about some of the announcements Apple made in the past week and a half ago, actually, 10 days ago. But also we're going to talk about a new exciting thing from Amazon that they're selling. Give you some more information about CRT Labs and go through that. First, what I want to do is I want to encourage you to ask questions of us. We're here as a resource for you, so during this Facebook Live, I'd rather have more questions from you, the audience, and get a sense of what it is you're interested in learning more about. So to that end, I want to promote once again our website, CRTLabs.org. It's a great resource for finding out more about smart home technology, and this is an interesting vertical for us because not only are we getting involved in this, but also utilities and insurance companies are getting involved. A couple of things I want to point out from our website. You can find this smart home checklist that we worked on with the Online Trust Alliance. Dave, Chris, and I wrote the content for this. This is a great thing for you to go through a home and make sure you're resetting devices, because the more and more of these devices we have around the home, think about it like changing locks. You want to change devices, the access to those devices in the home. Also, we've got the smart thermostat tear sheet. We're going to be updating it in a little bit. So take a look at this and see how it works for you. All right, so let's talk about Apple Home. What I want to talk about with Apple Home is there's been a number of changes that Apple's bringing to the market. I'm going to talk about AirPods in a second as well. But with Apple Home, they're trying to unify and make a unified system. And so this is what the interface looks like. But what I'm going to do is jump on my phone, which we're streaming from here, and I'm going to show you what Apple Home looks like. So that's the icon there. And you'll note I can have favorite scenes set up. This is actually set up to my hue bulbs in my office, so I can't demonstrate them to you. But what I can do is show you what the app looks like. By the way, I will say the setup for Apple Home was extremely easy. Now, devices need to have something called a HomeKit chip in them to work with Apple Home. So if you have Hue bulbs from a few years back, they may not work with Apple Home. Version 2 of Hue works with Apple Home. So does the August Smart Lock, version 2 of the August Smart Lock, and a whole bunch of devices. Apple announced a lot of partnerships. So it's something that could be easy for you to set up if you like Apple devices. Now, it also means that Siri works with Apple Home. So I could give us a command using my voice and say, turn lights to 50%, and my lights will go to 50% in whatever room I'm in. So right now we're looking at my home in general. I can turn a light on just by touching it right there, and you see them all engaged almost as immediately as I touch them. I can also dim them just by touching that. And then I have different rooms I'm in. So this is actually my default room, which is my office. And so I'm just turning them all up. And I'll tell you, they're almost instantaneous. I was surprised at how fast it was. It was faster than the actual Philips Hue app in responding. And then I have different scenes I can engage in. So imagine if you had an open house and you wanted to have certain scenes for that home, and those Hue bulbs are going to go with the owner. You could have your Apple Home system set up in such a way. Now, like I said, there are so many different systems on the market. There's the Works with Nest, there's the Wink Certified, there's Smart Things. It really comes down to preference, whatever you or the homeowner is very interested in. That's why on our thermostat tear sheet we have more than one thermostat listed, because there are so many different systems. We want to make sure there's one that works for the consumers. All right, so I'm going to jump back to our slides. All right, so Apple Home, I think, is going to be a really interesting system that you can use and work with consumers, and very easy to use. Now, what I want to do is talk about another way to engage with Apple Home, and this is something Apple's gotten a lot of flack for, the AirPods. For those of you that aren't aware and may not have seen this announcement, Apple is going for wireless audio with something called AirPods, which can actually also hear your voice. There's something else happening in AirPods, which is something called the W1 chip, which is a wireless chip that's in there, and it uses Bluetooth protocol, but I also think it's using some things that Apple's not talking about, and that's fine. Stacey Higginbotham, who's somebody who I respect in this field, she's done a lot of great writing and research on smart home devices and the security of these devices. She feels like the AirPods are actually the next step away from just worrying about your iPod, your iPhone, the iPad, or your computer. It's a way for you to engage with the smart home, and I think she's on to something there. I think that if I had these in my ears and I tapped to get Siri going, I could say, turn on lights, and it automatically turns on the lights, right? But it's also got presence detection in it. There's a company we've got here in the labs called Zuli, that's ZULI.io. And what they are, it's a smart plug manufacturer where you can get information about your energy usage for each one of the devices plugged in there, but also it has presence detection using Bluetooth. It doesn't go out to the web. It's localized to your home using Bluetooth. So when I walk into my office, actually all my lights go on in my office with no problem. And I think that's where AirPods are going to come in, and I think that's where Apple is trying to compete against Amazon and the Echo and Google Home. Oh, by the way, speaking of Amazon, we should talk about this. This week, Amazon announced that their device, the Echo Dot, is back on sale. It's been off the market for a while. We bought one. We actually have one here in the lab, and here it is right here. And this device goes. We paid $90 for this device, and we had to order it through an Amazon Echo. Now, here's the thing about this device. What's going to happen with it is this can be put in any room in the home, and they're selling these for a pack of 5. You buy 5, you get one free. So for $250, I could get 6 of these. That's the price of one Nest thermostat. I'm going to tell you right now, this can make an amazing closing gift. I demonstrated this last week for our Facebook Live, but I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So, Echo, turn lights off. See if this works. We're live.
Okay.
Didn't work. Echo, turn lights on. That's not going to work, is it? Anyway, here's the thing about the Amazon Echo. You basically connect it to your Wi-Fi. I've got power here. Put them anywhere. And the software that's coming out, you'll be able to. It'll know which room you're in, and so you won't have all of your Echoes responding at the same time. So they've got software coming out. This is $50. You can control devices with it. You can query the web. One of the tests that realtors like to use is Echo. How many square feet in an acre? Echo. How many square feet in an acre?
1 acre equals 43,560 square feet.
Now you'll notice the design. It's a little smaller, of course. It's just like the top of the Amazon Echo because it doesn't come with a speaker. What Amazon's doing is they're pairing this with a number of smart home manufacturers. There's one for Belkin, there's one for Bose, and a number of the speaker companies have pairings with an Echo. You order the Echo and the speaker, and you have a way to control that device with your voice. This is a pretty amazing little device. We really like it. We think Amazon's ahead right now in the smart home market with hub technology. I'm working on inventing a new word called hubbing. I don't know how that's going to go over. My team's not a big fan, but I'm going to try to get it into the lexicon there. But this device goes for $50. And you can actually plug a headphone jack, which is something I didn't talk about with Apple, and them removing the headphone jack. But what I will say with that is I think they're really making a move toward audio. And there was a study that just came out that said Bluetooth speakers, headphones, are actually selling better than the 3.5s right now. All right, so we're about 10 minutes in. Any questions, Adrian? Okay, great. Please submit your questions. We're here to answer questions. There's no question too small. I mean, if you're feeling like asking if you can control these devices with your phone, absolutely, that's a great question. Yes, you can. But please submit questions. We rely on what you're wondering about. We're here as a member benefit. And we want to make sure that when you work with younger buyers and the buyers who are tech savvy and are working in this space, that you are able to work with them directly. So I want to move on to the next subject I want to talk about. A great resource for you to go to find out more about smart home technology, and that's the Smart Home Database, smarthomedb.com. Now, I'm going to go to that website right now and just show you. Oops, sorry about that. I went the wrong way. Stand by. Let me get to their website. Okay, so Smart Home DB. So here's the thing about Smart Home DB. We're actually talking to these folks about working on a collaborative project where we get some information from them for some of the resources we're providing for you. But what's cool about this is essentially a crowdsourced website. You'll see there's a number of devices listed on here, things like the Nest thermostat we've talked about, the Schlage, and what you'll see, so I'll go to the Nest here because it's got a lot of connections. What you'll see is you get ratings from the users themselves. And you also get screenshots of the different devices and what they look like. And you get these reviews that are created by the users themselves. And then also it gives you the specifications. Tells you what connectivity protocols it works with. You've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Thread for the Nest. There's no other hardware dependency. There's no monthly fee. So this is a great way for you to find devices that can work for you. We are going to be working directly with them to pull some of this content in. Now, I mentioned earlier that, that these devices are working with utilities and they're working with insurance companies. And let me just go to Nest's website. And this is just one example. Ecobee also has this information. But you can find what devices work. Let's do that first. I'll show you what works with Nest. So these are devices that work with Nest as well. Any website that's, any one of these devices that has compatibility will have a place where you can go find devices that work in tandem. So you compare and use the Nest app to work with things like Hue bulbs or other manufacturers. The Yale Lock, the Linus right here is actually an example. And let me scroll down. So let me go back to your site. And then to the bottom. That's where they're talking about the programs. Energy partners. Right. So I'm going to tap on energy partners down at the bottom here. Now, utilities will offer you discounts. So I can go to get a Nest thermostat. It will tell me based on my zip code if I have a partner in my area. They have a program called Rush Hour Rewards, and also Ecobee also has a program very similar where you can find discounts. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is you can actually work with a new homeowner and help them find these types of discounts and rebates, and that's a value add to the service you provide as a realtor. We're going to go put my zip code in, and I'm going to see what energy partners I have in my area. Okay, so ComEd and Direct Energy are offering me rebates. I'm going to click on that. It takes me to this. Here. That seems like a bad design. Oops. That's just a fat finger error on my part. There we go. Okay. So, it's not anyway. I guess I'll jump back to the slides. What I'm trying to show is that you have the opportunity to have discounts in your area. Another one is the Nest. I'm not trying to pimp one company here. We're talking about Nest all the time, but Nest Protect, Liberty Mutual will offer you $100 one of these devices for free and up to 5% off your premiums. So, Smart Home DB. I digressed, but Smart Home DB is a great resource for you. SmartHomeDB.com to find out more about these devices. Another great resource is us. We are a free member benefit to you, and we have our website we have the Smart Home checklist up there. We have the thermostat sheet. We also have a glossary and a fact. I highly encourage you to visit those as well. And you can follow us at CRT Labs. Now, we do travel and speak a lot. In fact, next week I'll be out of the country, and I'll talk about that in a second. But Dave was just in North Carolina. Chris is currently in Wyoming at their annual convention, and we've got a few other ones happening in the next couple of weeks. So if you are an association executive or an incoming president and you're looking for someone to come talk on smart home technology, we are there for you. We can come do that. And we're very excited about helping members understand how to work with these technologies. So as I mentioned, next week I'm out of the country. I'm going to be in Bosnia, and the reason I'm going to Bosnia is to speak on smart home technologies and IoT and what it means for homes, communities, and cities. This is a trip that's fully funded by the U.S. State Department, so there's been no member due dollars going toward this trip. But I'm being asked by the State Department to come speak on smart home technology and also see what's going on in Bosnia. So next week when we do Facebook Live, most likely it's going to be me in a hotel room in Bosnia broadcasting from my iPhone. So we'll be able to give you some information on that. Do we have any comments or questions? I just saw somebody posted something. So, okay. If you're going to Orlando at the annual convention, we have a booth in the expo. We're booth number 208, and we are going to have a large amount of devices for you to test and experience. We also have a booth in the commercial group. So we have a booth that's demonstrating commercial smart home technologies as well. Please, what I would ask you is please stop by and see what we've got going on. And yeah, by all means, we've got a ton of stuff to bring you. So last week we had a bit of a glitchy Facebook Live. So I want to wrap up by showing you some of the devices that we talked about last week and demonstrating, or just talking about their value to you and to your consumers. So I've got a couple here. This is a good one for rainier climates. This is a Fabaro flood sensor. This device looks like a UFO. It's got a nice design. It also has spring-loaded, gold-plated sensors, and so it works on any surface. But it also makes sound, audible sound you can hear from the device itself. But if it's activated, it would send you a signal to an app on your phone. And you heard it just beep there. It also has a light that can indicate when it's activated. You see it glowing there a little bit. And it goes for about $50. It's from a company called Fabaro. It's Fibaro. Now, Fabaro has given us about $5,000 worth of devices because they like the work that we're doing, and we're helping them understand how their devices perform and what the opportunities are for you in the real estate market for these devices. So if you have a very floody place, this is a good way to monitor that, especially a home that's not occupied. Each one of us have these devices in our homes. This is a Netatmo weather station, and Netatmo is spelled Netatmo, and it stands for Networked Atmosphere. And they call it that because they have an indoor and outdoor sensor. This device right here monitors carbon dioxide, temperature, and humidity. This is an $80 add-on to their $150 system. And you might have heard me last week talk about some of the work that we're doing here, and I'm going to show you very quickly. This is a $150 for the base station, $80 for the add-ons, and quickly it adds up to about $400 to $500 to do a house. The work that we're doing here in the lab is we want to take that and downsize it, make it smaller. And so this is an example of the work that we're doing here in the lab for this. We have more sensors than this device has. We want to get the price down to a price point that makes a great closing gift that you can give to a consumer. So this device is on its way. This is actually designed in-house here, and I just wanted to make sure you saw a clear picture of that. So I'm proud of that work. It's great work. And I think this is something else I wanted to show you too that we did here in the lab. We 3D printed a home. Now, rather than the listing sheets that get rather expensive, what if you could 3D print a version of the home based on a map from Matterport, right? And put your card on the bottom and give it to people who are very interested in the home itself. So, so this, about 10 to 20 cents of plastic. You don't need to have a 3D printer necessarily. There are a lot of workshops around the city, around any city, or libraries even, that have 3D printers. You can take a model and have it printed out. That's a pretty cool thing we did here in the lab. Okay, so I want to say thank you, Adrian. Any questions for me? Okay, great. So I want to say thank you very much for your time today, and I appreciate everyone tuning into what we have here. And every week we're going to have these office hours. It'll be about 20 to 30 minutes. But I want to say thank you very much for your time today. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I'll put our contact information back up there. go. So, I'm in Bosnia. There we go. So, if you want us to come speak, this is a great link for you right here. CRTLabs.org/contact-us. And we have a request form if you'd like us to come speak in your area. I want to thank you very much for your time this week, and I hope you have a great week. And we look forward to talking to you next week from Bosnia.